I lived in Long Beach and I had a roommate and she was British. Big old thick yellow gal from London. And she looked like Sade, but she was big and thick, tall and thick. But she looked like Sade. And she had the accent and she could literally talk the pants off of any man. And she was a hooker. So
I said,
she was,
like that was just regular
well,
information.
back in the, them days being a hooker was no big thing. And so she was dating a comedian. And no, she was screwing the comedian, and then they fell in love and they started dating.
Pretty Woman comedy
the
style.
black style,
Yeah.
the black version. And I'd just be talking trash around the house, and he said, "You're really, really funny. If you ever wanted to do stand-up comedy, I run a club. If you ever come down, I'll let you on stage the minute you come in." I'm like, yo, I don't want to do no stand-up, fool. I want to sing background for Luther. Because I had got that Stop to Love video fucked me up. I was like, I want to sing behind Luther. Delusion. That's what before the weed got good. You know? But one night, we were just sitting on the patio, me and my girlfriend's hot, Long Beach night, and making them homemade margaritas and shit. And I guess what he said stuck in my head. I didn't really think of jokes. I still don't tell jokes. But some funny stuff had happened to me recently, came up in my mind. I said, maybe we go down this old club and I'll, tell this little story or whatever.
And how'd it go?
And we went down. I crushed it the very first time I was on stage. And in a minute I stepped off stage, I met a comedian who gave me his card and told me, he said, you's a funny little bitch. And that was the late, great Robin Harris.
Oh.
So that was the first comedian I ever met. And he was sort of like my mentor to me. I don't think he even knew how much he meant to me. But, I've always identified with him not being like traditional looking and sort of having country type swag and just being real regular and accessible. So anyway, that's, basically how I got into shit.
Your first time,
Some
basically.
other, repressed memory shit I came up with.
So then from there you ended up like performing on like Soul Beat.
Soul Beat Television Network in Oakland, California was like BET, but before BET. Black-owned, operated television station.
Only
that came on
in
cable.
LA?
Only in the Bay Area. Like Oakland, Berkeley, parts of San Francisco. And it was black-owned and operated. And this guy, Chuck Johnson, who was like, the Robert Johnson of BET, Chuck Johnson had been running stations for years. And he had a station in Oakland. And he just grabbed some people that he thought would be great and, put them in commercials and da-da-da. And then you start being a VJ and, just like on MTV. And
yeah.
So I had many, many shows that met many, many stars through my experience of working at Soul Beat Television Network. And I was popular before I ever left Oakland. I was, this was back when nobody knew how to program a VCR.
Right.
So nobody would leave the house until after my show went off. And
so you were famous in your hood.
I was already famous in Oakland before I ever came to LA.
Right.
So I never been affected by signing autographs, taking pictures. I was doing that shit before I even came to LA.
So you were there, you're famous in your hood, and now you're like, now it's time to go to LA? Or were you like called to do something? Or you were just like, look, I'm getting too big for this location?
All of that.
I'm tired of people stopping me in the street.
I also just keep being like a hamster on the wheel, going around doing the same club, same club.
Yeah.
And actually, I got married. I met a dude, married him in 90 days. I had a kid.
What'd he do to convince you to marry him in 90 days? Come on, Luenell.
He fell in love with me. That's what he did. And nobody had ever loved me like my husband loved me. And this 19 years later, we still married. Now, we wasn't together all that time. Them 19 years wasn't all in a row. We had to take off for the restraining order years and the incarcerations and the shit like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, a little absence make heart grow fonder. But I got married, and I had a kid with another man, and I was about to get evicted. It wasn't my new husband's fault. I was about to get evicted when he married me. And I was like, okay, so if I'm getting evicted out of here, I had an offer to come to LA to do this little janky movie with Rerun, back when Rerun was live. And they said, if you come out here and finish this movie, I'll give you guys a place to stay. So my baby daddy said, go to LA, but don't go down there bullshit, and I'll keep the baby. So me and my husband came to LA, And we stayed in various places, like that place that they gave us to stay, and they was squatting in that motherfucker. We had to get out of there. I'm like, why the police here?
Oh, after it was over, y'all was trying to stay.
No, the dude who told us to come stay.
Oh, and it wasn't legit.
No, this wasn't legit either. And then I was just saying, as we were sitting there, and I'm looking down on Sunset Boulevard at that Denny's right down there, and me and my husband used to literally sleep in the car in that parking lot right there. I used to wake up and brush my teeth in the bathroom in that Denny's right there when we didn't have nowhere to stay, because if you don't have a job, then you get a job, take 2 weeks before you get a check.
Right.
So you can't even get in a motel until you got the money.
Right.
And, shit was just crazy, and people won't do for you when you got a husband. They be like, well, what that nigga doing? So we was there for a while. And right there, used to look. This ain't nothing but a testimony that how good God is. That I used to sleep right there, and I'm over here doing the interview across the street.